All right, my man. State your name and let them know you on Real Talk with Nick.
We on Real Talk with Nick. My name is Steven. I've been a lifelong fan since I can remember. My first memory in 1990. Of course, that's John Starks, Patrick Ewing days. Baby, we here to stay. Let me tell
I see you. Let's slow it down. I see you. My man is pumped.
I'm hyped.
He hyped. He got the we here.
We here. We ready to go.
No. When the Knicks was the 4th seed, right? Julius Randle put that slogan out there, right? I'm in the sun. We here.
Ready to go.
How was you feeling at that moment, man?
I was feeling real hyped. I felt like it brought a new life to the city, brought a new life to the Knicks franchise, brought a new life to the Knicks fans.
Right.
We was ready. We was about something.
Right.
And he knew that we was about something. Even though we fell short this year, it didn't matter. We still here because we still see a lot coming in the future.
Okay, now, I'm glad you realized we fell short. Would you say we fell short horribly, or we just missed the...
I mean, from where we came from last season to this season, we fell type short. However, we still had the drive. We just had a bad February. Everybody, all Knicks fans know that February was bad, man. We won one game. After that, we were still hot.
Okay, now, due to that bad drought we had in the month of February, right? Could it be because of D-Rose was injured?
D-Rose definitely had a big role to play. But I think Thibbs kind of mismanaged the injury. Not the injury, excuse me. But he mismanaged kind of the substitutions. He mismanaged the hotness of the team. When I say that, I felt like he took guys out when they were kind of when they were in the feel of the game, and it kind of shifted momentum in regards to that five that was on the court.
Right.
It happened a couple times, far too many times.
Right.
But I felt like he adjusted later on, but it was too little, too late.
Too little, too late. Okay, now, as far as the coaching, would you say that Tom Thibodeau had some fingers to be blamed at him, pointing in his direction?
Absolutely. But that's what you get as a head coach. But I do not think he's on the hot seat. I do not think that he needs to be fired. I think that he got something built right now, and the Knicks definitely need consistency at the head coaching job.
But what do you say that also say that Tom Thibodeau needs to develop the youth?
Absolutely. And he did that too little too late at the end of the season when it felt, as you see, Obi dropped 45. It ain't easy to drop 45 in the NBA, no matter who you are. And he did that, and I felt like he had to give him the hot hand. Yes, you get pressure from the fans when you
But do you think he gave Obi the hot hand once Julius Randle got hurt?
Yes.
See, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, the rookies that we got playing, right? It seems like they don't get to shine until one of the vets get injured.
Absolutely.
He treats them like spare tires, man.
That's right. And I don't think that's how you gotta give them the momentum. You gotta let them drive it. You gotta give them the opportunity. Most importantly, you gotta give them the minutes. You gotta give them the minutes in the flow of the game. You gotta give them the minutes in situational basketball. I think Thibodeau kind of dropped the ball in situational basketball when it came to momentum and it came to subs.
Right.
He really kind of overdid it a little bit. But like you said, he definitely gave the shine to the young players once he had nothing else to lose.
Okay. Now with Obi, right? Playing the power forward position. Some say his upcoming season with the Knicks could be shortened. He could be trade bait to get additional pieces. Being that we have a power forward in Julius Randle. Who the city, by the way, is divided when we speak of terms whether we should keep him or pack him up. Where do you stand with that, with JR? I don't know if you expressed that earlier, but do you think JR needs to be traded? Like, I'm talking about Julius Randle, man. I mean, he went from we here to thumbing down Knicks fans, man.
I think that happens with the pressure of the city.
So can he handle the market?
I think he can. I really think he can. I think it got to him when the times got tough. But I think he can learn from it. I think he can learn from right now, he's watching the playoffs, in his offseason early. And he can learn. He can be like, you know what? I want some of that. I want to bring that to the Garden. I think he got that feel in him. But when the times got tough, he kind of folded. But you can learn from that. I think that's been kind of a problem with the franchise, is that they fold when a star. You could go back to Melo when it came with Phil Jackson and that whole kind of turmoil. I don't think Melo should have been treated the way he was.
Why you say that?
Because he shouldn't have been trade bait. He shouldn't have been benched. He shouldn't have been cut minutes. That's something that shouldn't have been happening with Melo because Melo was the team. Melo was that franchise. And even though he played the way he played, the way after, and you can't judge that because it felt as if he was damaged goods at that time.
Well, I think Phil Jackson had a lot to do with that, sticking the fork when it came to him and Carmelo.
Even Mike D'Antoni. When Mike D'Antoni was the coach when Melo came here. And there was already that pressure.
Yeah.
That kind of friction, that friction between coach and player. And you don't want that with your star player.
Okay.
So I think we've learned from that, and I think we should have learned from that. And then we should give Julius Randle that opportunity this season to come out and prove, you know what? The times got tough, but the tough keep going. And you gotta prove that, especially nowhere other than the
So then this is the season for Julius Randle to
So no, because you had the good.
You had the bad.
You had the bad.
You don't want to go through with the ugly.
Now you gotta get ugly. And when I say you gotta get ugly on the court. You gotta know that this is your team, because this is your team, Julius. This is your team. This is RJ Barrett team. That's both y'all. Because RJ Barrett coming up. That boy is coming up.
Let's talk about RJ. I'm glad you mentioned RJ.
He is coming up with the scoring. He's taking more responsibility. I feel like he's going as a leader. He's taking that control, the leadership. Can't forget that. I mean, yeah, it was a bank shot, but he hit that game winner against Boston. That was a big game.
So being that we seeing the growth in RJ, if we had to rewind the clock back when we go into the draft, you had John Morant, RJ Barrett, Zion Williams. You think we made the right choice?
I think I still think we made the right choice with RJ Barrett. Even though John Morant has been explosive, phenomenal. Looking at the study as what we know now, and obviously I'm a huge sports fan and I watch a lot of sports radio. I watch a lot of sports TV, listen to a lot of sports radio. His style of play is extremely explosive, and we don't know if that's gonna last as in terms of longevity. And Derrick Rose, that's one example. He's an explosive player, kind of got dinged up through his history with his style of play. But you still can't turn down the John Morant. But I still think we came away with RJ Barrett as a win, with RJ Barrett, with our culture, with our style of play, and he's handled the Garden wonderfully.
Okay, moving forward, man. We almost there. I appreciate your patience, man. Mitchell Robinson, man.
Mitchell Robinson.
Woo! What should we do with Mitch, man?
Unsung hero. I think he's an unsung hero.
Why you say that?
Second half of the season, balling, big man presence, boards for days. Definitely had a 20 rebound game. I believe he had a 20-20 game, if I'm not mistaken. Might be mistaken. But I know he had 20 rebounds in the game, at least 18 points in that game. But he can do that consistently with the minutes given to him, the opportunities given to him, and I think he's proven that he can be a starting, consistent center for the Knicks.
Think so?
Absolutely.
Okay, and can you agree that in my eyes, I feel like he learned how to stay in the game a little longer.
Yes, he
without
did.
getting in foul trouble so quickly.
Because he stopped being aggressive. He stopped being aggressive as far as swiping hand because I feel like he was used to that. He's like, I'm a foul guy. I want to be physical. Let me get up in there. But he started transitioning through the season. He's like, yo, I can score buckets. I can get my buckets. That's going to be awarded to me. But he grabs the boards. He grabs the dirty boards. He goes for the boards. You never see him outside the paint in regards to on the defensive side of the ball. He's always in the paint, ready to grab that board. Man, 6'8", 6'11", I believe. That's a body.
Right.
Definitely deserves starting minutes. Definitely should be in our starting five.
Okay.
Be on full. Absolutely.
And this is the nail in the coffin right here.
When
we speak of point guards, the Knicks desperately need a point guard. I asked the person, do you think the person that can fulfill, because everybody always talk about Knicks had good players, but they can't handle the market. Can't handle the pressure here. So some might have indicated that the point guard that we very well looking for is probably not even in the NBA at this present time. So my question to you, why are we looking to fill that point guard vacancy, man? Do you think that we can have a little hope in Emmanuel quickly as filling that spot until we get a true point guard? Do Emmanuel quickly give you flashes of potentially being a point guard for the New York Knicks?
Key word is flashes. He has games where he is on point, but he looks to score. That's what we got as far as quickly. He looks to score. I think his court vision can improve a lot better. I think his control of the game can improve a lot better. But he's a scoring guard, and that's kind of more or less the day and age of basketball that we got now. We got everybody want to score. We don't got a lot of point guards. Excuse me. Not that I want to compare him to Chris Paul, but we don't have a lot of guards like that. That true point guards, not scoring guards. We're talking about true point guards that need to scope the field and control the name of the game. Control the game, the flow of the game, excuse me.
Right.
Is the extension of the coach. That's all we say about the point guard. That's what we need. Somebody to put the players in position to succeed. Quickly can do that. However, he's too inconsistent to do so. I don't think that's in his game. His game is to score. I think he would be a lot better at the two on a rotational basis as far as a bench player. As far as free agency, we could probably draw some point guards. I'm not sure who the free agents attractions are. The draft is not too heavy in guards this year, but if he can learn, we in there. But he's definitely looking to score first.
All right, man, and that's what it is, man. I want to thank you for coming on Real Talk with Nick, where we talk nothing but New York Knicks basketball, man.
That's all we do, because we always here.